Hopefully this works. Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Coffee at the Cove. We don't have these schedules, and we're talking a little Run Disney today. They had a pretty big announcement, and I'm super excited to bring Lake and Katie from MouseGen on. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys doing tonight?
And of course, Chris and Christy are with us as well.
Hello.
Yeah, and you misspoke. It's Lake from Lakeland.
That's right.
And Katie from MouseGen.
It's literally the only way I know him is Lake from Lakeland.
So,
I'm
okay
Lake
with
from
that.
Lakeland's biggest fan. I just say Lake from Lakeland every day, once a day at least.
Oh wow, you're gonna make me blush.
you need a shirt. You need a shirt like that for your next Run Disney.
I do.
race,
For
Chris.
sure. We need the label on his name.
You're gonna have to have something like "I'm trying to catch up with Lake from Lakeland" because he's gonna be so far
Never
in front
gonna
of us.
happen. That literally will never happen.
All right, so we're going to talk a little Run Disney today, something different. We love talking Run Disney here on the DCL podcast, along with Adventures by Disney. But Lake, Katie, some pretty big news today from the Run Disney community.
Yeah, so I think we all thought it might have happened, had a hunch, knew it would happen, and we were just kind of, I don't know, being willfully ignorant about it.
I don't know if we're being willfully ignorant, but we were just waiting for it to actually become real.
But Wine and Dine has been turned into a virtual event, at least in a much more timely manner than Star Wars was, which we can be thankful for.
Well,
But
was Star Wars turned into a virtual event?
no.
Or they
No.
canceled Star Wars and they're turning Wine and Dine into a virtual event?
Correct.
Correct.
Do I still
So
have to get up at 3 a.m. to catch a bus? Just kidding.
if it makes you happy
you
in
are.
any sort of way. Should we message you a wake up call?
Yeah.
This is the time. Except I guess in your time it wouldn't be that late for you.
No,
No, it'd
Yes,
It'd
it
be
would.
like midnight still.
I'm in your same time.
Oh, you are, aren't you?
no.
Yeah, Steve and I are the
Tiny
West
whiny.
Coasters.
We could just stay up all night and then
Wibbly
just start
wobbly.
running when they run at 3 o'clock in the morning, Chris.
It'd probably make more sense.
Yeah. So virtual race. Before we get into the nuts and bolts, you know what I was kind of thinking, you guys. You actually signed up for Wine and Dine, am I right? Before kind of the COVID shutdowns.
It was March 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody, and I don't know, maybe you guys would know because you guys have your hands on or the pulse a little bit more of Run Disney. But from everything we've heard, they kind of capped the numbers for marathon weekend. Looking at this weekend, they wouldn't have been able to do that. Do you think maybe that
No.
was part of it? No.
Well, we're saying no, they weren't able to cap it.
Right. So do you think maybe that was part of it? Just the numbers of people that would be coming to run this race?
Probably partially, but I really think right now it's more of the just rising cases without a forecast of that breaking
Right.
before early November. I mean, that's really right around the corner at this point. So we're just hoping that it's not a bad sign for January weekend.
Yeah. Well, so far they say what's it say? We're looking at
Planning.
every aspect of Run Disney experience and making decisions with the safety and well-being of our athletes, volunteers, cast members, so on. We plan to host the 2021 Walt Disney Marathon weekend.
Yeah.
And that's generally the biggest weekend, right? As far as the number of people coming down.
Usually.
Yeah, I think Princess
Because
is
there's more
technically the
races.
biggest.
Interesting. I would have just guessed that marathon weekend would be largest only because there are 4 races instead of
Right.
3. But
Yeah, the where is it going with this?
Princess.
Believe the marathon though isn't while it still fills up, it's not quite the draw of some of the other races.
right, because that takes it's pretty rough. 26
A little
miles.
bit.
And I think in a normal year, I think they typically have more spots available for the marathon, but it usually doesn't sell out really quick. Whereas
Yeah.
this year, everything's gone now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
everything's
it's all
sold
gone
out.
within like 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah. So they
And weirdly,
really must have limited it.
Dopey and Goofy were the things that sold out so quick, right away. And normally
Yeah.
you could get the challenges if you want to wait a couple weeks to buy them.
So turning into a virtual race, what does that really mean, you guys? What are they kind of offering people? It's kind of two different paths they can go down, right?
Yeah, so if you are choosing the virtual race option, for each option, including the challenge, you're getting your medal still. You're going to get your long sleeve t-shirt. You can do a digital bib and digital finisher certificate if you want. And then they're also including a digital toolkit, including start and finish line and mile markers. So you
Like
can
things you can print
go
out.
and plant 13 miles of mile markers and then run for 13 miles after.
Which would be really funny. So where we live, we have like a mile loop, which is what I usually run, and I just run it however many times like I need. It'd be really funny to have him stand there and like just hold up and like switch it every time I run by.
Yeah, for sure. Get some friends to do it or something.
And then also you get your digital Disney gift card for select races. Depending on the race you signed up, depends on the value. Do you have those?
Right, I do. So with Wine and Dine, you typically get a digital gift card anyway to use at the after party. But what they're doing to help like compensate for the fact that it's now virtual instead of like being on property is they're upping the amount of that gift card you get. So the 2-course challenge. So if you signed up for the 10K and half challenge, you get $100 gift card. If you're just doing the half marathon, you get 90. If you're just doing the 10K, you get 30. And if you're just doing the 5K, you get 10. And I guess if you're the kids races, I'm not sure if they're doing anything for those, but
So then the other option is if you decide not to do the virtual, you can get a refund, right?
Yeah, they get a full refund, I think, all the fees and everything.
Yeah, it's a full refund. If you can get it back just on your card, which is probably the easiest way to do it. There's also ways that you can get, I believe, either a gift card or a check, depending on if you have some sort of weird like payment issue as well.
Yeah, like if your card was like canceled, or if you lost your card and had to cancel it or something, or if you paid with a gift card.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't have that gift card anymore.
So, Christy, you were training for this. You're just starting your training for this. What are your thoughts as far as the Wine and Dine this year then?
Yeah, I'm pretty bummed. So my training would have started the beginning of August, officially. So I think I'm going to get a refund, I guess. First of all, as we know,
you wouldn't want to do a virtual half, right?
I don't want to do a virtual half. Like, I need people cheering me on. I need to run through the castle. I need to end at Epcot, frankly. You know what I mean? Like, that is what would get me through. Running in my city for 12 miles. Did that when I trained for the marathon. I'm good. I don't need to do that many miles again. Now, like Detroit, we have an awesome half marathon here. You run, I doubt it's happening this year, but you run to Windsor, you run over the bridge, you come back. So Canada, you run to Canada and then you come back. It's super cool. So if I really wanted to do a half marathon this fall, I could see about that, but I'm assuming that race isn't happening, unfortunately. So yeah, I guess I'm going to have to get a refund because I'm not running. And as you guys, so Lake and Katie may not know this, but I'm not such a villain person. That's not my thing. And so...
And you didn't know the theme of this race when you signed up. What got you to sign up was the fun after party. And then afterwards, they were like, oh, by the way, it's villains themed, which, though, is one of the reasons why people were so excited about it. Because a lot of people love those villains.
I know, lots of people. I like the happy people. I like the good guy. So I was going to do it. We were in theory leaving for a cruise the like 2 days later, or day, whatever it is, the day later, all of it was going to work out. And it was like the timing. So I was like, I'm going to do this race. So no.
Yeah. And Lake and Katie, what about you? You were registered for what? The 10K and the half?
Yeah, yes. We were both doing the challenge.
Sad.
I've gone through a lot of emotions today. Like yeah, we should do it. No, we shouldn't. Maybe one of us should do it and the other not. Like, but I think we are probably going to do refunds.
Yeah, I think so. the medals are cool, the shirts are cool, but I mean, I think the thing that we're gonna miss is like seeing the people, meeting the people, like actually being there. And it stinks that like I don't get to see all our friends who Star Wars was canceled, so I didn't get to see them then. So now we're hoping for January to see, and that's what everyone was like. Like friends were messaging me, being like, "Oh yeah, it stinks. We don't get to see everyone." Especially Wine and Dine is like one of the races where like everyone comes back to every year, kind of from like the core group of friends that we've made at the events. So everyone's really bummed about that, and I'm like also very sad for people like Christy, who this was going to be their first event, and now they don't get to experience all the wonderful things that Christy was talking about. And for some people, these races are also like, they're like dream race, like their grail, like this might be a one and done.
Right.
And if they change this to a virtual event, like even if you're going to do the virtual event, it's not going to be the same. Mm-hmm. And, if this was your one trip to Disney tagged with Run Disney Race and you lost that stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling about the Star Wars race for those people, because they didn't get any notice. And so, they were in like the middle of their training. Well, not the middle, the end of their training, like the taper. And so to have it go away, it's sad.
Well, and Disney just couldn't pull the virtual together quick enough for that one. No. But if I know Disney, and I think I do, they have been probably prepping to make Wine and Dine virtual pretty much since that race, and planning exactly what it would take to make it virtual and what are the costs associated with that. Because while they no longer have to pay for infrastructure of a race, because that's a lot of money to set up those things and to blow off the fireworks and to get all the cast members and all the like goos and jelly beans and whatever, that's money. But to do the like virtual thing, they have to organize the medals and send them to people's homes, and there's cost associated with that too. So I think they were probably trying to figure out how much it would cost them to do this and to do it efficiently. And then they figured out, okay, here's the refund we'll give people via Disney gift card, because obviously nobody wants, I mean, for marathon weekend, isn't Dobie Challenge like $600 or something?
Almost,
so if they make the Dobie Challenge virtual, for example, and they're like, here's a $90 gift card, I think people are going to be like, excuse me? Like,
but then some of those people have done it like every year. So then how do they just COVID
walk away?
The end of their streak? Oh, this COVID is on my last nerve.
Yeah, the whole perfect streak, right? Like, perfect Dopey, perfect Goofy.
Yeah, I don't know how they would do
doubtful that any of this will count
that.
Towards that.
Okay.
For instance, I was perfect for Star Wars.
Yeah, but that didn't happen at all. Like there was no like virtual option for them. So I don't know.
So Chris, you touched on the theme stuff. You want to talk about that real quick?
Oh yeah. Okay, so to couple the bad news, they were also like, oh, by the way, here is the themes that for each race, and you don't actually know that when you sign up. You maybe sometimes know loosely what the theme of the race will be. Like, for example, when you sign up for marathon weekend, you know that the races will in some way feature classic Disney characters. And every so often they throw you a curveball, like putting Oswald on the 10K. A lot of people were like, what? Who's Oswald? And some people like me would be like, oh, I really wish that I signed up for a 10K because I love Oswald. So there's things like that. But for the most part, you know that for that one, you're going to get some combination of Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, maybe the Chipmunks, maybe Pluto, things like that. For Star Wars, you get various like good versus evil spaceship beats style themes. For Princess, it's pretty much any princess is fair game. But for Wine and Dine, if you look at some of the old medals, it's like Colonial Mickey making an apple pie, or like
like the best one.
I want that one.
Yeah,
it's like,
and Christy,
that's my top tier medal list.
Yeah, and Christy is like, that's what I wanted. But this year, I think maybe, I mean, Lake was saying Wine and Dine sells pretty well.
Look at that.
And Wait, show it again. I want to see. I
Well,
love
it
how I
fell
just
off
made
our
that up
wall
in my
earlier
mind.
today, so we have it
Yeah,
handy.
there he goes. He's making
Well,
his apple
what does
pie.
I feel like that means something?
That it fell off the wall. It's a
Yeah, that the
cosmic
Wine and
moment.
Dine medal fell off the wall the same day they canceled.
It may have been last night. We just noticed it had fallen today.
We'll still
Still,
count
still
it.
an omen.
Let's hope my plaques don't fall off because they're all the way up by the ceiling.
You need to wear a helmet in your office. Okay, so they announced today what the theme for each of the distances of races would be. So we knew before that it was going to be villains, but we didn't know which villains. And so let's see, for the like kids races, so a lot of people don't know this, but they have kids distances for many of these Disney races that are, what are they, like 1,000 meters or a 1K or something?
They had little ones
There's
like
a-
200, and there was one that's around the track, and then there was one that's 1 mile.
It's like healthy distances for developing bodies.
Kill me, Chris.
Run Disney spokesman, Chris Bright.
Health
He's
and
a-
safety.
He is a professional speaker after all.
And so that theme is Captain Hook and Smee. And the medals are cute little tiny medals with Captain Hook and Smee on them. The 5K, which I think there's a whole generation of millennials who are freaking out about this. But the 5K medal is Yzma and Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. And I know a lot of people are excited about that. The 10K is Ursula. And the medal's kind of cool because she's like wrapping her tentacles around the little nautilus shell that holds Ariel's voice. And that's cool. And then the half marathon, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lake, but almost every one of the big races. So for the marathon weekend, it's the marathon race. For all the other weekends, it's a half marathon. Usually have a moving component on the biggest race medal. And for the half marathon, it's the Evil Queen mirror, mirror on the wall. And if I'm looking at it correctly, it looks like maybe that spins in the middle. So it's like her face, and it'll spin and maybe be a different face on the other side. So that's a pretty
think
cool
so.
medal too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
definitely
challenge
looks like it
medal.
could be.
Yeah, and the challenge medal is interestingly themed to Nightmare Before Christmas, which is a nice little like Halloween moment.
And what's on that one, Chris? I don't have them up in front of me.
Oogie Boogie. Yeah, it's like a Oogie Boogie, and then it says whatever the distances of each race are. So
it's like a
all
roulette
of-
table.
Yeah, all of the races combined. So yeah, that is a villainous lineup, and also pretty obscure, some of them. Like, and clearly none of them go together. It's not like you could pick them out and be like, these ones match these. It's like Disney was literally just like
Grab a Yeah.
throwing their villains in the air and grabbing 4 different properties and being like, here we go. So yeah,
That's kind of what they did last year too.
yeah,
Yeah,
and they
a
do that
little
for
bit.
Princess. Like Princess is like they'll go one for Moana and then one for like Cinderella and one for like, you know, an older princess or a newer princess. And
Yeah, it used to not be like that. It used to be like the whole weekend was focused around one princess.
Yeah, like
and
they did
then,
Little Mermaid one year. They did Frozen like 2 years in a row.
Yeah, and then they realized they could make more money on merchandise if they put more princesses on more things.
Disney's so good at that.
All right, so two other quick questions for you guys. Then, so if you haven't signed up for it, you can't sign up for it as a virtual race, right? It's only people that have signed up.
As of now,
As of
no.
now.
As of right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they did some kind
Open
of
it.
like run Wine and Dine virtually and see, because I mean that's more money for them. If enough people cancel and take these refunds, and they've already like done some orders on their shirts and stuff, definitely I think.
Yeah.
And then with
Good point.
merchandise, I'm not sure what the turn point is for merchandise as far as when they're already printing up some of the stuff, but I assume they'll probably have like an online store for people if they have anything available.
I don't think it says.
I don't think so. It did say
Anything like
that
that?
if you pre-ordered anything, you will be getting a refund for anything you pre-ordered, which makes
Okay.
me think that they won't do much merchandise.
yeah, friend of the show Brian Flock was telling me that he had pre-ordered some merch that now he's just getting a refund for. He won't actually get to have it. So that's interesting.
So there you go. That probably answers the question. Maybe they haven't actually even printed it out, other than they'll have the race shirts for people that really want to do it. So we got a couple comments, Chris. Did you?
Oh,
I pulled them up.
Okay. Christy?
So John said, it's a shame that it was canceled, but not a surprise. See you in January. Good commenter of our live shows, Dennis, said hi, and then he agreed that it was a good description. I'm assuming that was earlier when Chris was talking about like what the kids' races and stuff like that. And then Dennis also said the medals sound awesome. I hope they open this up for more virtual participants.
Yeah, I think they will. I think you're absolutely spot on, Katie, that like they will they will probably be like, people wanted their refunds and now we have these printed medals, so we need to do something with them. And there are so many Run Disney fans who are hungry for races right now because
That doesn't count.
Their hometown races are getting canceled.
Mhm.
Like everything's getting canceled, and all that we have right now is virtual options. And like, who wouldn't want to like put a little bit of extra Disney in their life? Except Christy, because it's haunted themed. But
It'll be interesting to see if they do, because if you look at what we paid minus the gift card, that kind of puts your value of what the race would be. So we paid $370, like with fees and everything total. I looked it up today.
For both of you,
Total
or
or-
each
No,
of you?
each.
For the challenge,
So
it was
then
$370.
you're only getting $100 back. So they would charge, if in theory they did virtual challenge races, they would be charging $270 for those
Yeah.
races.
Right.
A lot.
That's a
It's a
lot
lot
for a
to just
virtual
be
race.
mailed a medal.
Right, and
Yeah.
shirts and all
And
that.
your shirt, yeah.
How much did
Yeah.
you guys pay for those 5K medals this summer?
Oh, so I did that. Steve, you did it too, right?
Yeah,
I
he
think
did
it was.
too.
I think it was like 160 for the three of them.
The challenge.
Oh, the
if you did the
virtual.
challenge, if
Yeah.
you did the challenge, you got the Mad Hatter, Space Mountain, Haunted Mansion, and one other attraction.
For 160.
Yeah.
You know, they should have thrown in
140.
Maybe it was 140.
140.
I
It
think
is
it was
kinda like a
140 plus a
Okay.
$9 convenience fee, because why not?
Yeah.
Why not have a convenience fee?
Yeah.
It
To
was
register.
So convenient.
Right. To not have
Yeah.
to talk to somebody to register. I always love that one.
Yeah.
Like, this was convenient for you too.
Yeah.
You weren't paying somebody. Oh, what was I saying?
Well,
Yeah,
I would
Dennis-
say with the sorry, Chrissy, not to cut you off, but with the virtual race, it's been kind of fun, you know, for the two of us or the three of us, you know, hooking up, and we've done one run. We're gonna do the next one, I think, this weekend. So you can have a little bit of fun with it that way. Chris, I don't know what your thoughts are, or Christy, but you know, you guys are right. You miss out on so much of the experience with all the people there, being down by the parks, maybe staying in the resorts. So
Yeah.
that
This is like no shade at all, because I think these races aren't usually really actually about the distances so much as they are about the community. But
Mhm.
the virtual races are all 5Ks. And because I'm currently training for a marathon, a 5K is like what I run on my like slow day.
Every
when
day.
Yeah, like that's like an everyday distance. And so that sometimes makes me feel like I'm getting a medal for this thing that I do 4 days a week. And that's like a little bit of a thing. And again, no shade for anybody, because I know that like for a lot of people, that 5K distance is not something that you do very often. But I would be excited to see Disney offer virtual races that were longer distances, because currently the only virtual race that's a long distance is the Kessel Run Challenge, where you run the half marathon at home and the half marathon in the park, and you get the Star Wars Kessel Run. So, I mean, that is one longer distance, but again, not Disney's virtual races are typically these shorter 5Ks.
Do you want me to keep my half marathon and you can
Run
have
it
a
for
virtual
you.
race?
I don't. I
For
mean, I thought.
$270.
Yeah, I was
Whatever
about to be
paid,
like.
for whatever I paid for that.
Yeah, I was about to be like, yeah, until they told me that they're only giving back such a small dollar amount.
And this is what I was going to say before Steve told me I didn't get to talk anymore. That we had a party at Epcot. Like, I
That's
was gonna
canceled.
drink coffee and stay up late and do all the things that would
Oh my
allow me to
gosh.
stay up to go to a party. And and then what? They're giving us back $90 or something or whatever it is. I'm like, that's not even the price of the ticket at Epcot.
Well, and also they're not really giving you back $90. They're giving you
Well.
$90 to spend on more Disney products.
Yeah, right, because it's a Disney gift card. Good
which
point.
we would have done anyway. But there's a couple more comments. Dennis is acknowledging that those prices are steep. Here. And yes, he was referencing my description of the children's races. And then also acknowledging that a virtual race isn't a great substitute for a live race, but it is good motivation to keep training and running. Plus, Disney medals are by far the best medals.
True.
I can agree on that one. I did my local Burbank turkey trot, and I can tell you that medal was cobbled together in like I don't even know. Let's see, go on Spotify, pick the Run Disney playlist, and you get a little bit of that experience while you go for your run.
Oh, I never thought about that. They've got a Run
Yeah.
Disney playlist on Spotify to run with, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's kind of cool. Well, I guess before we finish up, what was kind of the thought? I know, like you were talking before we got on, that a lot of people were texting you, from the community. What were people's thoughts? Sure, a lot of disappointment, but
Yeah, I think people are just overall bummed, especially, like I said, like groups of people who look forward to meeting each other at these events, and who want, physical races. This is one of the last, like, kind of big major races that hadn't been canceled yet. Of course, New York, Boston, Chicago, all of those were gone. So there wasn't a whole lot left as for races that draw thousands of people. So I think there was a lot of holdout for this, and sadly it's gone like the rest.
well, I guess as we finish up, any final thoughts from everybody as far as what you guys are thinking? Your thoughts about the Wine and Dine going virtual that we haven't talked about?
Kind of where we landed, or at least where I landed. I say we as if I'm speaking for him, but I'm really not. But I know where I landed as far as like the virtual, looking at the cost, like the $270 after you get the gift card back, and the design of the medals and the shirts and everything. And I was thinking so much of when I go back and I look at the medals that I have and I look at the shirts that I have, when I think about those weekends, there's so much that's like based on being at Disney that makes those such good memories. So I feel like the virtual ones wouldn't hold that same thing for us. So I think that's probably why we landed there.
Yeah.
But if they are good motivation for you, I say go for it.
Yeah. And you two also like have such a long history in like running these races that I can imagine too, like it's just a different thing than those people who like this might have been their only time doing it, or like their only opportunity to get those medals. Maybe it's slightly a different draw. But I also think, not that there's almost no point in speculating about what they'll do for Marathon Weekend, but if they were to cancel Marathon Weekend, they have even more time to plan a virtual aspect for that, and also to see how the virtual aspect went for this one. Also, do y'all remember back like maybe 4 months ago, 3 months ago, when they had on their website that they were going to start incorporating
The wearables.
Yeah, wearable technology, so that you could like check your distance and verify how fast you ran and things like that. And then that like conveniently dropped off of the website when people started asking about what that meant. I could see that being a component of this. Like maybe, you use your wearable to get through it, like to prove your distance or how fast you did it.
Maybe. I doubt that they would use it to like prove anything, because they've never asked for that before, and they've
Like
done
a
a
proof
half
of time.
distance before. Yeah, they've done the half distance before, so I don't really think they care as far as like sending you your medal, but maybe for like a social media aspect, or to get it like accurately printed on your commemorative certificate or something, because when you do a live one, they just pull your results and print your results on your
Yeah.
finisher certificate. So that could be what it was for.
Also,
know.
none of us can get proof of time right now.
Right.
Like-
I had actually thought about that.
That's
'cause
going to
I
be
had
a
it.
huge mess.
Yeah.
I had the notes on that in my calendar. Not that it was going to be a great time, but I can beat the time that is their slowest corral. And so at least I would have been up one. But I'm like, can't do that. So I guess it's an
No.
issue now.
Yeah. Because the proof of time for marathon weekend is due in October. And what race am I going to get to run before October? Like,
Especially
I'm
in
currently
California.
training for the Long Beach Half Marathon. But like, do I think the Long Beach Half Marathon is going to happen on October 3rd? No. I'm just training for it because what else is there to do if you're a runner?
Right.
That's what I'm doing. Like, I've run more than I ever have, and it's good, but for what?
Yeah, you just
Your
keep
health.
setting these distances. You keep setting these distances out there for yourself, or these goals, and then I'm a little anxious about marathon weekend because that was going to be my first full marathon, and
Yeah.
I keep worrying that it might not happen. But such is life. At least we have community. At least we can still hang out randomly on the internet and talk about our woes.
Well, I guess as we kind of finish up, Christy, did you have anything else to finish up on?
No, that
No.
sigh. That sigh is
Yeah.
what I think on. I'm done with COVID.
sad.
Well, I'm done with COVID, not in the way that maybe I shouldn't say that's what much of America's done, where they're just pretending it doesn't exist. I'm done with it. Like, I wish I could snap my fingers and it would go away, and then
And we would all be safe and healthy.
right. And I don't
Yep.
live in my house all the time.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Lake and Katie, for coming on our Coffee at the Cove episode. This thing keeps growing. First, it was just Christy and I. Then it was Christy, I, and Chris. And now you guys joined us. So I guess
Who's
our
going to be the
one-
next one?
I know. Thanks for being our first
Brady
guest.
Bunch.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us on and inviting us to share our thoughts on this very tragic story.
I love it. I don't get to talk to anyone all day long, so
Oh,
You're always welcome to come and talk with us. So
I was gonna say, I have a 7-year-old who won't stop talking. If anybody wants to talk to him, please reach out. He literally doesn't stop talking.
Hey, before we get out of here, Lake and Katie, where can people find you on the internet if they want to connect with you guys on MouseGen and whatnot else?
Yeah, so our YouTube is MouseGen. That's mouse like Mickey and GEN, one word. And I believe Instagram is MouseGen with a dot between the mouse and the gen.
said that in a very weird way.
I did. Mouse.gen.
Well, cool. Well, 2 more quick notes. Dennis said he didn't get a medal for his turkey trot, Chris. He just got donuts, but that wasn't too bad.
Donuts. Oh,
I
And
mean,
then,
like
Yeah.
donuts.
Versus a medal that, what are you going to do with?
Yeah, and then Derry just said she agrees with you, Christy. I just wish we knew the end date for COVID's life. Well, hopefully it comes soon,
Mhm.
right? Anyways,
Yeah.
all right. Well, as we get out of here, thanks again, guys. Be well down there in Florida, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you marathon weekend.
Yeah, thanks guys. See ya.
Bye.